Hi, this is Cheryl McQueen, designer with Bello's Designs. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different than most of my normal video tutorials. Today I want to show you about the Lavinia Dream-Scapes paper. Now this one in this particular collection is called the Enchanted Forest collection, and I believe this is the one that came out just last year. And this is a book of 8 by 8 inch sheets of paper that have designs already on them. So there are 30 sheets in this book, and what it has is double-sided paper pages. So you'll find that you've got a page with something on one side and then on the other side. So let me show you what these papers look like. It's really hard when you're looking online to be able to really get a good idea of what the pages look like in any of these collections. So let's take a look at the ones in the Enchanted Forest. So basically what you're going to have is 10 different designs on 5 sheets of paper. So you will have this one, and I'm going to turn it in so that you can see the different things. Sometimes the light will show the colors a little prettier in certain directions. But this is side 1 of the first sheet. And then you turn it over, and here is side 2. This one has got some really lovely words on one side and beautiful different colors, foliage looks. Then we have this sheet, and I like this one a lot because, as you can see, it's got the music staff with the notes on it. So this makes a gorgeous, lovely background when you have something that's music themed. And then look at these beautiful borders, the leaves and everything that are on these pages. On the back side, we've got a lovely set with greens and yellows, and again the words that are stamped in like kind of a white looking color when they created this. Then the next page, again more lovely words, but this one's got some soft, love the teals and the purples, really beautiful. It's kind of hard when my light reflects on it for you to really get a good look. And here is the back side of that sheet. See if I can bring this closer without the camera going out of focus so you can kind of see the lovely details that are on these papers. And then this sheet, this one has more of the leaves and the foliage showing up. It also has words down in the corner. Lovely colors, more words over on this side. Flip it over and we've got these beautiful purple tones. Again, I'll try and bring it up here. I hate to get too close because sometimes the camera doesn't like that and wants to refocus, but I want you to see how beautiful these backgrounds are. And then our last sheet has those really nice looking dots, the beautiful foliage, lovely soft colors. And then this one's a little bolder, and I really like, if I can get, you can see where you can see this, it's got the little beautiful dots that create little swirls on it. So you've got so many beautiful things that you can do with this, and as I said, you get 30 sheets, and there's 10 different designs, so you get basically three ways that you can use the same sheets over and over if you like to. So today, what I thought we would do is go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we can do with some of these sheets. Now, I'm just going to take one. Let's see, I think it was the very first one that I showed you. And just going to work with one side. So here we've got this beautiful sheet here. It's got the teals and the purples and the light greens, and it's got this look right here in the center where it kind of looks like it's a little cracked. Just a really beautiful, beautiful sheet of paper here. The great thing about using these background sheets that are created is that, especially if you're in a rush, you can create something really quick. If you need to make multiples, you can do your multiples very quick. So what I started out doing was taking this sheet of paper, and my first thought was I want to make a card. Now, with a sheet of paper like this, it's very hard for me to decide exactly how it's going to look for the size that I'm going to cut it down to. So what I did was I took some acetate sheets, just these simple little acetate sheets right here, and cut them to the two sizes that I use the most often. Basically, when I cut my art cards, I'll do a 4 3/4 by 3.5, or I'll do a 6.5 by a 4.5. I'll also create other templates for other sizes that I use all the time, but these are the two that I use the most often. So what I did, the reason I did this is because I need to know, what part do I want to use of this? Do I want to use the purple colors? So I lay that on there to try and make my determination. Or do I want to get more of the crackly look? So let's say that I'm really wanting to get words in mine, but I don't necessarily, do I want to use all the words? So this is what it looks like if I use all the words. Or do I want to scoot it over and have words just on the side? So this is why I like to cut out my little templates. This just helps me to be able to go onto my sheet of paper and pick out what I want to do. So I took this piece, and I'm going to actually do one project with you, and then I'm going to show you one that I made. So the project that I wanted was a 4 3/4 by 3.5 inch card base. So I took my piece, moved it around, and decided that I kind of liked having just a little bit of that teal color at the top. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit to show you where I'm working here without the focus going out too much. So I decided that I really like the fact that I've got a little teal there. I've got the flower or leaves are kind of over on the side here, and then it just goes into a little bit of this area where I've got the crackly look. Now, actually, I got to looking at it and I thought, I like having a lot of teal. This corner only has a little bit. This corner has a bunch. So see, that's how this comes in handy. And that also gives me a lot more of the crackly look. Keeps my floral on the top. So that's why I decided to cut that for the piece that I will demonstrate here in just a few minutes. Well, what that leaves me is all of this area over here that I can do more projects. So as I cut this off and started working, I came up with this little project. And this is a bookmark. And I basically took, after I cut everything off, I just took this piece right here. Now, the dimensions, so that you'll know what to do if you want to recreate exactly the dimensions that I've used here, is I've got 2.5 inches for my narrow and 6 inches for my long edge. And then to create my border, I just added another 1/4 inch, so that means that this is 2 3/4 and this is 6 1/4. And then for my final back layer, this is 3 inches by 6.5 inches. All of this will be down below for you to see. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this particular project. Super simple, fast. Didn't take me 5 minutes to do it. So basically, once you get your cards cut out, I just took the Lavinia flower. This one is called Twilight Lily, LAV 905. Stamped that on there. I put it on the side just a little bit. Then I did my stamps for the words here. This one is called Harmony. And this has Nurture, Nature, Flower, and Harmony on it. And this is LAV 815. So I chose Nurture because when you read, you're nurturing your brain. And we always nurture our flowers when we grow them and water them. So very simply, I made my stampings on there. Then I took just a little bit of a color with a Dauber. And I happened to choose for this one, the Forest Moss. Took that and just went in circles around the edge. That gives it this nice little distressed frame. And then put it together. Poke a hole in the top, thread, my ribbon. 5 minutes. You could make so many of these if you've got some kind of event that you needed to go to and you wanted to give a nice little prize or gift to people. So now let's take a look at the project that I want to do for the other portion. So I'll set this aside, and what I did was I cut out that piece that I measured. So this again is 3.5 inches this way by 4 3/4 inches this way. Used my little pattern, lay it out on my piece of paper so I could figure that out. Okay, then once I got that done, I wanted to do my frame piece that we will mount this on once we get through stamping. This piece is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And then for our card base, I took an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and I cut that piece of cardstock in half. Then I took one of those halves and just folded it in half to create my card base. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on kind of a layout on what we want to do on our card here. So I've decided to use the owl. This is the Broadwin and Malin set, and it's LAV 639. So I'll use the owl that is flying. I'm going to do just a little bit of foliage down at the bottom here. I decided to choose the lavender. This one is LAV 093. And then we'll just dust in a few of the little fairies just to kind of give it a nice, soft, urethral kind of feel to it. This is the 3 Dancing Fairies set. This is LAV 136A. Okay, so I'm going to take out my stamp pad, my stamping platform here. What I like to do with a stamping platform is put a sticky grid down on the base. That way I don't have to use magnets. I'm not very big fan of using magnets when I work on my projects. So this is, again, will be a nice, simple, quick little project. With this project, you can do it as quickly or as slowly as you would like to do. It depends upon how many different elements you want to add. The elements that I decided to add are just going to be my stamping and then just a little bit of highlights with white ink pen and with glitter ink pen. So let's see how we want to lay our little owl first. I think we'll do him right about there. Nope, I got a little dust on him, so I'm just going to quickly grab a little baby wipe thing there. Lay that back down, and that will help him to stick. Stamping platform is great to use, especially with these more solid stamps. It helps you to get a really good smooth impression. A lot of times when I use these solid stamps, I end up doing a second impression to get lots and lots of ink. Now, most of the time when you use these types of papers, they're a little bit slicker than some of the other papers, other cardstocks that you'll use. So just be sure and press down and give this paper a chance to absorb the ink. That one was almost perfect. See a little bit of lightness kind of over on his wing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a really quick, fast repeat impression. All right. And there's a really great solid image. So now let's go ahead and just take our little lavender stamp and basically what I'm going to do with that is just sprinkle it around here on the bottom edges. Now sometimes I will go ahead and put some scrap paper down so that I don't get my stamping platform all inked up while I'm doing it. So let's scooch this up just a little bit. I'll ink that up off screen so I don't have to keep flipping it around. So right now I'm just going to add our lavender plants. If you'd like to, you can even use a different color. Maybe do some of the colors that are complementary to what's in the background instead of using black. It's just whatever you feel like you would like to do. And one more little piece of lavender right there. All right. So now we've got that nice lavender down at the bottom. And as I'm looking at this, even though there are some plants and foliage up there, I think I'm going to put just a few little pine fern branches right across the top of it. So I think what I want to do at the top for here is going to be this set. This is the fern branch. This is LAV 578. And I'm just going to sprinkle a few of those right across the top, just so that we have just a little bit of foliage coming down there at the top as well. I think it will balance out the top just a little bit better. So let's put a few of these branches in there. I'm going to actually move my card down just a little bit so I've got room. Go ahead and grab the small one off. Maybe have one coming in at a little angle on this side. And then one final piece coming down this way a bit. All right, so that way I feel like we're just a little bit more balanced with our foliage down here and the foliage at the top. And now let's just go ahead and go in, add just a handful, couple of little fairies. Let's see, let's do one kind of in this little space right here, looking down at the flowers, and maybe one just right down in here. So the two that I've chosen are going to be this fairy and this one right here. Oops, I got that one upside down. Oh well, she can be floating upside down. I meant to turn her around, but I should have paid a lot more attention. Anyway, you get the kind of the idea of how we've got our little fairies and things there. Maybe we can add one in. Trying to see if we could add one in that might help this one. It looked like they're doing a little dance there. Let's see. Even when you mess up, you can kind of play around and have fun with it. And that's one thing that's everyone should know, is that even though I'm a design team member here, all of my projects don't turn out perfect. But do something fun. See what it does. So now she is down there helping her. All right, so we'll pull that off. And now we can put just a few little details in to make it pop just a little bit. So let's start out by adding a little pop to our fairy's wings. So we're just going to take, this is a glitter pen, just a Jelly Roll, Sakura Jelly Roll glitter pen. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glitter to the fairy's wings and maybe a little bit in their hair. So, see if you can see that glitter there. And then maybe we'll just add just a little bit to make it magical on some of our branches here. Just a little bit of glitter. This obviously is just my little fun thing I'm playing with. If you wanted to use a white color or something else, add some flowers along with the fern branches, just play with it and use your imagination. So I've just got a little bit of that glitter. Hopefully you can kind of see the glitter. And then I think maybe I'm going to grab a white pen and just do a little bit of reflection. So let's take, maybe put just a little reflection across the top of the wings. Just adds a little bit of interest. Okay. And then that's it, except for putting our little bit of distress border around it. I'm going to do the exact same color that I did before, the forest green, or forest moss, I believe this is called. And all that I do with that is just go in little circles around the edge. Builds a little bit of a frame. And like I said, it kind of gives that really cool looking distress look. I always like that. This is obviously a step you can skip if you don't like that. This is just something I've always liked to do. All right, and then we can take our pieces and put them together. I like to use the running tape. It goes really quick and easy. But a crafter's glue, I use the My Sweet Petunia glue press, which has a very nice fine tip to it. So if you have little tiny areas that you need glue, it really works well for those tiny areas and not getting way too much glue. We center that on our piece of cardstock. And then there we have a very quick, simple, easy card to do using the papers from the Enchanted Forest collection by Lavinia. Thank you so much for watching my video tutorial today. These papers are really great to use, especially if you either can't think of a background, which believe me, there are times I look and think, why is my brain not functioning to be able to come up with something? Then I can grab this paper and come up with a really lovely card, or in this case a bookmark, or whatever I decide I want to work on. And I don't have to worry too much about the way it's going to turn out, because I know it's going to turn out beautiful by using this paper. So I hope you will give it a try. Take a look at the Lavinia Enchanted Forest collection. There are other papers out there as well. These are the Dream-Scapes papers. There's also the scenes that you can get that already have moons and that type thing in it. So go out, take a look at that, and see what you can come up with. I hope you have fun trying out using this particular kind of paper background. Be sure to remember to check out the tutorials on the design team page at delbellosdesigns.com. Have a great day.